Hey everybody, this is Heartless Spartan here with a channel update video. Now I will also be doing a 1/6 scale customs video in this. I'll be putting together, something different, something that doesn't come as an actual set. But we're doing this video today because we reached a subscriber goal for the channel. We hit 250 plus subscribers, which is awesome. Subscribing is the best way to support the channel. It tells me that all the work and time that I'm putting into doing these videos is greatly appreciated. So I do like that the channel is gradually growing, and it is great to see you guys' support and comments. It's greatly appreciated. If I were to set a new subscriber goal or another goal for our channel, probably be like 500 plus subscribers, double up on what we currently have. Now, before I really start putting things together here or getting into kind of what I want to talk about today as I put stuff together, is just kind of the context behind the figures that I'm putting together today. Now, I have initially kind of like a fantasy theme because I put these two together within the past 2 to 3 years or so. And I had kind of like a Red Riding Hood and the wolf thing going on with like a kind of mid 20th century look to them. But I am starting to gather stuff up to go with a sort of, what is it, like a mid 20th century kind of Anthro Gangster look. Or like some Pinkertons or something. I don't really have a backstory set up for these things. They just kind of look cool and I thought it was a good idea. So that's just kind of what I'm running with. So I will be putting a couple of additional figures together today. I am minus one head sculpt, so I was going to put together like another, like, what is it, 1, 2, 3, I mean, if you count those two, that's 4. I was going to put together a 5th one, but I'm minus the head sculpt for that. I'm still waiting on it. I was going to put together a bear, but just, it hasn't come in stock yet. Still waiting on that. Now, these two, I'm not really going to fiddle with today. I'm just going to leave them as is. Let's see. While the others are anthropomorphic, Red Riding Hood, I just don't really have an animal head sculpt for her. I mean, I even swapped out her head a couple of times. After a while with my custom figures, I'll find something. It's like, hey, I'll get that and I'll update an old figure of mine or add something to it. So a lot of my stuff is still like a work in progress. I always come up with different ideas, or I find different supplies or some accessories that's like, hey, I can add that to that thing. But while I'm putting together my other 2 figures for today, while I do have them pre-dressed for reasons that I just don't show on my channel because some of the additional bodies you buy in this scale are a little bit explicit. I don't like to show that stuff on my channel, so I kind of pre-dressed a couple of the figures. But I am going to have to adjust my camera so that we could actually see me putting these together while I talk about my channel. Okay, so you know what? I think I'll actually just kind of start off with my lion here. So I'll move that one off to the side. I don't know how many of these extra accessories I'm really going to use. I have my stuff here for it. Sorry if some things end up off camera. Trying a different setup. Sorry if the audio sounds a little bit different. My microphone is off to the side instead of in front of me because I just cannot work with all this stuff in the way. Let's see. Alright, so my channel didn't really have any post questions put up because I kind of mentioned that I'd be doing this a little bit of a week ago. So always just kind of keep an eye out on the posts section of my YouTube channel or even on my Facebook, because I tend to post some of the same stuff on in both locations. But nobody really asked me any questions to answer, so I'm just going to kind of talk about whatever here. Made a little bit of a list of things I could talk about. Like, why I do this channel in the first place. I just kind of enjoy it. It gives me something to do, gives me a little bit of a hobby. I like that people do subscribe and, they hit the like button. They'll leave comments about the things they like or that they found it informational or interesting. And sometimes people actually give me, like, different tips and things, or they let me know some, like, information that I just didn't know myself. And that's always great to hear. A little bit of help is always appreciated. But I'm not necessarily going to be a big YouTuber or anything. I'm not really doing it for that. Not necessarily like doing it just for subscribers or anything either. I'm doing it just because it's a little hobby of mine. And I get to share out just some of the stuff that I get to do and that I put together, and just kind of share the hobby with other people that might be interested in it as well. What's going on with that buckle? Okay, so it's like a one-ended buckle. Alright, so then am I gonna have to tuck that in there? Yeah. Okay. Let's see. Some thoughts and feelings about the channel. Just kind of that, yeah, sometimes with life and work and everything going on, of course anybody, like, I do feel a somewhat of an obligation to kind of keep my channel videos consistent and getting one out each week. I mean, last summer, I was doing, like 3 videos per week. I'd do, like, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I think it was. I'm not going to be doing that again this summer. I just cannot. Like, I need to get things done. I need to get out and about. There's just too much that I personally want to do. I also spent a lot of time sick the past year, so there's a lot of things I just kind of want to make up for, or got to catch up on. So yeah, it's still going to be like 1 video per week. I mean, with everything going on in just life in general and work, I do just kind of want to maintain that, like, 1 video per week kind of deal. I'm going to want to tuck that in. How's it going to look tucked in versus untucked? But yeah, as I was saying, like, there have been instances to where it's like I really just do not feel up to doing a video that week. And it's like, yeah, I got stuff going on, and maybe I'm sick or somebody in the family's sick that I got to take care of, and, life comes along, things happen. Or as a teacher, work got particularly stressful, which happens often. But, yeah, I usually do go into the post section on the channel, or I post it on my Facebook as well. It's like, hey, there's some stuff going on. I'm not going to be doing a video this week. That happens every once in a while. But I do try to remain consistent just so that you guys can expect to see a video each week. And we can keep the channel going and growing a little bit. Now, I kind of like how it looked untucked. So I'm actually going to pull that back out. Let's see. Pull this out. Let's see. I probably am going to have to be doing specifically 1/6 scale stuff for probably the next several weeks. I know that a lot of my subscribers are Monster High fans, but it being spring, there just hasn't been a whole lot of toy releases lately. I'm kind of glad they did Velcro. Like, I do like the authentic buttons on things. But if they can do the Velcro right on stuff like this, it can still look good, and it makes this so much easier. Pull that through. We got to be careful not to tear the material when you kind of pull on it. But as I was saying, like, they're just not putting a whole lot of Monster High stuff out at the beginning of spring. So we're just going to have to wait for some things to go up for pre-order and get released and then kind of show up in the mail, or if I can find the stuff in store. Sometimes stores kind of put it out a little bit earlier than others, or maybe if they're not really supposed to and I still manage to buy it, then yeah, I can do some reviews on that stuff. You know, I'll keep the Monster High stuff going like every other week. Yeah, I can do that last. Yeah, I'll keep the Monster High stuff going every other week. But I need the stuff to actually review and do that. I do have some stuff pre-ordered. Last year they came out with some day out dolls that just did not show up anywhere around me. But Entertainment Earth just kind of put out like a whole set of them that you can pre-order. I think you get like one duplicate in it, but you get the 3 day out dolls. That's about... Oh, and the Hollywood stuff is up on Entertainment Earth as well, available for pre-order. So I got those pre-ordered as well. Oop, that's not good. What did I just do here? I've got the wrist peg stuck inside of its jacket. There we go. Okay. The clothing's getting a little bit thick on this figure, so I'm wondering that's going to end up... Did the same thing on the other side. There we go. End up with a little bit of limited posability, but it's still going to look pretty good. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, so I'm not really expecting that Monster High stuff until like, I mean, late March, April, maybe even into May. I don't, it just all depends on how this stuff releases, like what that time frame is. I think it's supposed to be in like April that we start getting this stuff. That we start seeing it in stock or on shelves. You know what? I think for the lion, I might leave the trench coat off. So yeah, I'll set that over there for the lion. And yeah, let's get his hands on. Let's see. Yeah, my 1/6 scale figures. I have like a whole bunch of stuff to cover for 1/6 scale, so I can keep that going for a while. The hobby is kind of getting expensive for me. I am going to have to kind of cut back on some of the fantasy and gotta be careful with that wrist peg. Fantasy and pop culture stuff that I've been kind of splurging on. I mean, I've got some cool stuff to review. Hopefully it doesn't go out of stock before I can review it, because one of my unspoken rules of my channel is that I don't really want to review things that you guys can't get a hold of, because then I feel like I'm being mean or kind of being a bit of a show-off, being like, oh, look at this thing that I got that you can't get. Yeah, I don't like doing that. So any of the 1/6 scale stuff I review, like, I was still able to find it somewhere for at or pretty close to retail, like at retail price. So it's not like something I paid like 2 or 3 times as much for on like eBay and then did a review of it. No, I'm not going to do that. Plus that's too expensive. Like this stuff, like I said, there's things I want to get to. I want to save up money, you know. Just kind of like maybe like buy the house that I'm living in. You know, that kind of thing. So I am kind of tucking stuff aside, just trying to get my priorities worked out for just life in general. So if I have to cut back on things, then that's what I'm going to do. Because I'm also only really doing like the one video a week, between the 1/6 scale stuff and the Monster High stuff, I'm probably not really going to be able to get around to any 1/18 scale things. Like the Joy Toys I was reviewing, or the Hasbro Ghostbusters. But it's not that I don't like those things or that I stopped collecting those things. It's just mainly that it's a matter of time. I just do not have the time to be putting out really more than one video a week. So I gotta kind of stick with these particular things and just kind of roll with that. See, how's he gonna look with the tie? If I can get... Oh, would it be better if I just did that? Maybe. I don't want to get it caught. Is that neck going to work with this tie? Ooh, what was that? Was I like starting to peel his face off? Oh, jeez. I put the tie on wrong too. Oh, man. It's supposed to go under the collar. Doy. Oh, and he's got fur all over his suit. How would a furry ever wear a business suit? Like, really? Like, they'd all have to be carrying around lint rollers. Jeez. Okay. Let's go ahead and do that. There we go. Alright, now that's working the way it's supposed to work. And I put it on backwards. Why? Oy, okay. There we go. Alright. Yep. Adventures in the hobby. Okay. Now I can put the head sculpt on. And this thing is real nice. I want this company to, I think it's like Moss Toys or something. MOS Toys. I want them to make more like this. There we go. Let's pull that tie out a little bit. Straighten his body out. His tie is going to stick out. Can I bend it? I might have to tuck his tie in. Like that. We'll just do that. Okay, yeah, he's got a tie. He's just going to have it tucked. We'll do that for right now. I can work out how to wear a suit later. But I forgot what I was talking about. Alright. Yeah, just use some tape here. Oh, where was I? Yeah, I was talking about my customs. Or at least the 1/6 scale stuff. I mean, I do other customs. I did the World War II Kelly's Heroes and Oddball figures. I do a lot of other fantasy stuff. I've made like Tinkerbell. I've made like a couple of like witches or something. Some princesses. Some other things. Let's see. I am working on some like kind of like how I collect the TB League Egyptian figures. They're kind of sort of fantasy gods and pharaohs line that they got going on. But I'm currently in the process of like making my own kind of customs. Making some of the Egyptian gods. I kind of want to make my own, what is it? What was her name? Why am I drawing a blank right now? It's like, anytime I gotta think of the name, so all of a sudden I can't remember it. Sekhmet. with the lion head, or lioness head, I should say. And then, like, I'm not really good at making my own, like, costumes, like the outfits, or like shoes. Like, I kind of dabble in making a little bit of like jewelry and accessories and stuff. I've dabbled a little bit in painting. While I have a head sculpt for Sekhmet, I haven't painted yet, but another figure I'm putting together is the cow version of Hathor, like the animal version. So that's currently work in progress. Maybe that can be another video at some point for when I do put that together. But, I mean, actually, I have that off to the side. I was like, I got a bunch of painting stuff. If I take that off of that, if I can. There we go. That's like the very first thing I painted. And I posted some pictures of that, some progress pictures, onto my Facebook as well. So I think for the first thing I painted, that's not bad. So we'll see how that project goes. And I have more planned. So I do have more customs in the works. Naturally, they're works in progress. And my works in progress can vary from, you know, completely starting a whole nother figure to adding like a patch. I need to add a infantry division patches to my custom Wolverine and Sabretooth, but in their World War II infantry uniforms when they stormed the beachhead. Oh, I still got more fur on them. Hold on. It's going to take me a minute to clean him up a little bit. But yeah, I mean, I have a whole bunch of things that I bought stuff for that I can put together. And I do miss out on things sometimes, too. Like, I really would have liked to get... Oh, what is it? The Dragon and Dreams, or like the DID squad from Saving Private Ryan. I do have several of the figures for that, but there are figures that I missed out on, like Private Jackson and Caparzo. I might still be able to get like, what is it, like Mellish. But yeah, Jackson and Caparzo, I think it's too late for me to get them. Unless they like re-release them. Which would be great, because then I'd have a second shot at getting them. And like, you can't even get Miller anymore. Ryan's still available. Actually, I think Ryan's still on sale from one of the places that I get things from. Let's go ahead and slide that in there. Oop. And I just pulled his hand off. You know what? Maybe I will put the trench coat on him. Maybe I can have like a uniform thing going on. And then, that was DID stuff I missed out on. What else did I miss out? TB League. For whatever reason, when they do like a historically based figure in their Egyptian line, they kind of tend to whitewash the character or the historical figure. And yeah, I do kind of like that. While they might make it look nice, I do kind of have a problem with that. Like, I'm buying that because of my interest in that particular thing. So if you make it not that thing, then I'm not really going to be all that happy or interested in it. I might be less likely to get it. And one of the things that they ended up whitewashing initially was Hatshepsut, which was one of the more infamous female pharaohs. Probably one of the most powerful pharaohs in all of Egypt throughout its history. And really, and they ended up whitewashing her, and then they kind of backpedaled on that, and then came out with a nice a brown skinned body and head sculpt, but it was like limited quantity. And I did have it pre-ordered, but I had a family emergency. Cause one of my cause I nearly lost my father, actually. And so one of my contingencies for when that something like that happens is to cancel all of my orders and everything, because like financially things are about to get a lot more complicated. And then it was one of the things that I canceled, and I wasn't able to get the pre-order back, you know, after things got better. I mean, he's okay now, but my parents are kind of old, and I'm doing my best to take care of them. But that's one of the figures I missed out on. Alright, so I've got my lion together pretty well. I wonder, can I tuck this into one of his pockets somewhere before I give him his Chicago typewriter? Maybe... Is it a real pocket? Might not be. No, I don't think it's a real pocket. Oh, that one is. Why is the top one real, but the bottom one isn't? And tuck that into there. And I will go ahead. Can I wrap that around a button? Or make it look like it's wrapped around a button? There we go, I'll just sort of do that. It doesn't look too bad. Cool. Sorry to leave things on that little bit of a grim note, but I mean, things are quite a bit better now. Let's see. Other projects. Like other projects and stuff. I am working on some things. I haven't really had time to get into that. Like, I'd like to like build displays and dioramas, and like I bought things for like sculpting and that. I'd like to get the house basement kind of cleaned up so I can kind of get a really workshop going down there with all kinds of saws and tools and power tools and everything like that, so I can get all of that going. But that's going to take some time. That's going to be a summertime thing. Hopefully I can get to that this year. I wonder, can I sort of get the hat on him? Maybe. It doesn't really fit. Yeah, I don't think that's... It's just not big enough. It just isn't. So some accessories for these I'll just have to hold on to for something else, and just like accumulate that little collection of random things that I can maybe put something else together one day. Alright. Yeah, I do have an extra magazine for him too. Alright, so there we go. We got the lion together. How about that? That actually does look pretty good with the trench coat on. Alright, so let's move him over. Let me get started on the rhino. Alright, so move this over here. Okay, Anything else on my list to talk about? Oh, what other things do I collect? Other than what I already show you. So other than, like, these 1/6 scale figures and the Monster High dolls. Well, I mean, there's 1/6 scale stuff that I haven't really shown you guys. Like, other than my customs, if I think about my display case, I have, like, Lord of the Rings, which I've shown some of that. I have a whole bunch of, like, World War II, which is, like, mostly comprised of United States military from World War II. I do look at the British stuff. I don't have a whole lot of British stuff. If I do, I just have one British figure from World War One. Let's see. I have that whole TB League shelf of their Egyptian line. I have pretty much everything except Hatshepsut. And then I have a bunch of, like, kind of like pop culture figures, like stuff from movies and that. Like, I've got a couple of Star Wars, like, Hot Toys. We saw Jack Sparrow, like, what, a couple weeks ago now? I have a handful of figures from Gladiator, actually. I have General Maximus, I have Gladiator Maximus, I have Commodus and his white outfit where he fights Maximus at the end of the movie. And I just got Quintus in the Praetorian Guard outfit. I just haven't put him together yet. And I've got a couple other customs, like, that sort of came as sets. Like, I have what is it? Wolverine, just in his jeans and his jacket and that. You know, Hugh Jackman's Wolverine. I have, like, a World War II Captain America. I have, like, Tinkerbell. Like I have a mix of, like, pop culture and fantasy stuff. Although Tinkerbell's, well, part of her outfit was a set. Part of her was... I'd list her mainly as a custom. Because I got a whole thing going on for what she's got on. Then... oh, what else? I mean, naturally doing the custom stuff, I do make some, like, maybe some saucier figures, but, like, nothing explicit. I don't like to do that. Usually they're based on something like a fairy or like some cosplay or whatever. They end up still looking pretty good. And or like an angel. I made one. But yeah, I do have other 1/6 scale stuff that I'm into. It's just I kind of limit that now because it's, well, yeah, it's an expensive hobby. Other things that I collect. I mean, absolutely, like 1/18 scale stuff. Of course, I'm really big into Star Wars the Vintage Collection. Like, I mean, I got this guy over here for scale. But yeah, I mean, I have so much Star Wars stuff. Absolutely love collecting Star Wars. At least in that scale. Like, I think the 6-inch figures are nice. It's just, I just don't collect in that scale. It would just be a whole nother line of stuff. And unfortunately, that's what a lot of toy makers are making action figures and stuff in now, is the 1/12 through 6-inch scale. And I just haven't been collecting in that. So I'm just not really going to start either. Because there's actually a really nice Star Trek line coming out by Nacelle Toys that I saw at Toy Fair like, I didn't go, but I've been watching the Toy Fair stuff. But, like, I've been keeping my eye out on a lot of different things, but a lot of those cool action figures that I saw over the past week, it's like, well, those are cool, but I'm just not going to buy them. I don't collect in that scale. That kind of scale of stuff does not go with the last, like 25 plus years of me buying and playing with toys. They don't scale in with everything else that I've accumulated over the last 20 plus years. So I'm not going to suddenly start with a different scale now. Uh-oh, we lost a button from somewhere. I wonder what that's from. Where is that from? Oh, the sleeve. It came off the sleeve. Okay, so what can I do to maybe glue that back on? Oh, I don't really want to use any of that stuff. Okay. Well, let's see what that does. Okay. Oh, what was I talking about? How many times am I going to do that during this video? All right. Right, the collecting Star Wars figures in that. Yeah, Star Wars figures, absolutely. So long as they're in that 1/18 scale. I collect other things in that 1/18 or 4-inch or 3.75-inch scale action figures of like various things that I think are cool. Of course, I was like a huge Bungie era Halo fan. And I'm still a Halo fan, just not so much of the past several years. I'm not really going to get into the whole change of Halo identity and everything like that. But, I mean, I still collect Halo stuff if I think it's cool enough and it's within the era or my particular interest of things that I liked that they came out with over the last several years. Jazzware still has their 1/18 scale Halo line kind of going on their Vault website, which I greatly appreciate that they kind of kept that going in some way, shape, or form. I just don't really need the collector's packaging, I think. Just give me a figure at, if it's the packaging that's raising the cost, which I doubt that it is, I can do without that extra packaging. Just sell me the toy. Because I just tear that packaging open anyways at this point. But, yeah, since, like, high school is over... since 2008, I've been, like, lining the walls of my room with Halo figures. And most of those are still up just because it looks cool. And I'm still single. So... That's another big reason why they're probably still up on the walls. But Yeah, Halo stuff for sure, not just the action figures. I mean, I collect props and things like that, helmets. Not really custom helmets, just because I'm not that involved in like community stuff or like making custom things to that degree. This guy, yeah, I guess I can give him his pocket watch too. Why not? Oops. Go on top here. Make it to where that kind of holds that in. There. Alright. Yeah, when putting these things together, sometimes it's not necessarily about doing it the way it should be done, like you would on a real person. Sometimes you just gotta finagle it to where it looks authentic. And that's really, most of the time, really, that's all you need. But other things that I collect. I mean, yeah, of course, tons and tons of action figures. Um, Other dolls and stuff. I was collecting Barbie, but I was very picky with Barbie. What I was collecting, more like historical stuff or things I found looking particularly nice. But I wasn't gonna pay a whole lot for Barbie. Uh, I did like the Inspiring Women series that they were coming out with all of the historical figures of Barbie dolls, like things like Amelia Earhart and that. But yeah, that Barbie line, they hiked up the price on it, and I'm just like, no. And then they just kind of dwindled to, hardly ever putting anything out for them, and then I just kind of forget about it. And when something did come out, I just kind of pass on it because I felt like I just kind of personally stopped collecting it. If there's anything else that I really like that I'll really collect big on is back in 2011, 2012, I was indeed a brony. So naturally, I collected My Little Pony. At least the G4 stuff. I do like some of the G5 toys. I have a bunch of those too. But I was big into G4. Like, I'll collect the toys in that. I'll have like cool posters and awesome like custom artwork and everything like that. Like, I'm not gonna be like uh, I'm not one of those people who is gonna like wear like a Pinkie Pie T-shirt and like go running around town like this. Kudos to the people that really enjoy it and express their fandom and everything. I'm just not one of those people. I'm still gonna dress as I do in that. Uh, but no, I have tons of My Little Pony stuff, and My Little Pony played a big role in me becoming a teacher. So that My Little Pony has like a pretty big significance in my life, and it kind of directed me towards my lifetime career, honestly. So even though I don't really do My Little Pony stuff on this channel, like it played a big role, and I do have a ton of My Little Pony stuff. So what I want to do here is expand the strap so that you can hold it if I can. I don't think I can. Or can I? If I can, it's not by much. No, I don't think I can. Because it's glued right there, isn't it? Yeah. The My Little Pony stuff. Definitely collecting that. And I would love to see more My Little Pony stuff, new My Little Pony stuff. Yeah, this BAR is not going to fit in his hands. Oop, the sight just fell off. So I'm just going to hook that around over his shoulder. Uh-oh. Where did this fall off from? Back here? Okay. Can I put your hat on? How does he look like with the hat? But I have been waiting for My Little Pony stuff to really like make a comeback. And other brands are like beating Hasbro to it too. I don't know. I kind of like it where it like doesn't quite fit on him all the way, but he wears it anyways. Yeah, I'm gonna have to figure out like what gun I can give him that will actually work. So I want to kind of like adhere that to him somehow, so that it's not sliding around and I can get it in a good spot where it actually looks good. I must have a lot of stuff stuck to my fingers here. There we go. But I was looking at Toy Fair, and at Toy Fair, like, My Little Pony was non-existent, which really disappointed me, because I was picking up on all the rumors and stuff that Hasbro was planning a bunch of My Little Pony stuff. Like, yeah, they were even like, oh, retro stuff for 2025, and I was hoping to see some announcements at Toy Fair. But we didn't get anything. Or at least they didn't publicly show anything. I'm going to need a little bit more than that. I mean, even in the room here, on the hobby table, I've got like a little cheerily just off to the side. But years ago, because I started getting into college and everything, I was out of high school, and My Little Pony was at its peak. I think I was out of high school by the time the movie came around. And all those cool toys and everything came out, but I was going to college, I was taking classes, I was watching my money, I wasn't really going to stores and stuff very much. Like, I graduated kind of before a lot of my high school friends did, actually. Just things worked out that way. How can I pin that to him the best way that I can? Probably in the back here. But I eventually stopped watching the show. I think I stopped watching the show around season 5-ish, maybe a little bit later. But, like, recently, like, back in December, I started picking up on it again, and I think after, like, a decade coming back to it, I think finally getting to the point where I'm gonna finish the show is just kind of make me sad, because I was like one of the most fun and best like periods of my life so far was during that era there. Other than now's pretty going pretty good. But yeah, that I just want to see more My Little Pony stuff. It sounds like Hasbro wants to revamp it and is going to come out with stuff in 2026. So, fingers crossed that I'll see some My Little Pony stuff next year. Hopefully what they mean by retro stuff this year is not all like G3 and G1 and that. Like, kudos to those people that, get that stuff. I'm not saying don't make it. I'm just saying that that's not the generation that I want to see if they're going to do retro. I want to see more G4. I want to see more stuff like G4, even if they do something new. I kind of want to see the toys kind of be like they did then. Like, even the G5 toys that they came out with, I rather liked. Although, like, the brushables are, like, the classic thing, so I don't know why you want to do that. Alright. I did spot... What is it? Decora ponies at Toy Fair. That was, like, the one thing that was like, yeah, that gets me excited. I'll go out and buy those. But they're filling that kind of space where Hasbro really isn't. Alright. So, I've got my lion and my rhino gangsters kind of set up. They look really cool. I'll go ahead and maybe take some pictures and do some recordings for the montage. Feel free to go ahead and leave any particular questions or comments, maybe stuff I can save for answer in another video. But for now, Red Riding Hood, the wolf, our lion, and our rhino can go ahead and just kind of look cool in our montage. Looking forward to continue putting out more videos, doing more reviews, chatting up the community in the comments and that. This has been Heartless Spartan. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.